I didn't find a lot of products that did that and then also helped me to have good, cute hair. Like, I went through a whole season. It's one thing to deal with hair loss, but dang, can I look good with the hair that's on my head? Hey boo, welcome to the HairScripts channel. My name is Beverly. I am not only your host, I'm your homegirl, I'm your sister girl. Child, I'm your bestie if you don't got one. I'm your mama if you need one. Listen, the bottom line is I am your homegirl who basically created this whole community because I started losing my hair, or at least noticing my hair loss in 2018. And I went down a complete spiral. I went down a complete spiral, like a downward spiral, and I was not okay. I was not okay. And this video is me sharing my hair loss story with you. I'm telling you how I went from being diagnosed with female pattern baldness, hair loss, to regrowing my hair, the hair that you see on my head today. I will insert a ton of pictures for you so that you can know that it's real. I'm not making this up, and I'm not doing anything or saying anything that I can't back up and validate. But the reason why I want to share my story and the reason why I want to talk to you in this video is because I want to welcome all of you who are experiencing hair loss. If you're dealing with alopecia, if you don't know why your hair keeps falling out, your hair is not growing, it's breaking, you're seeing bald spots underneath your wigs, and these are all concerns that you have, I want you to know that you are not alone, you're not crazy, there's nothing wrong with you. I'm telling you, almost 50% of black women, black and brown women, are gonna experience hair loss by the age of 40. It is very common. Unfortunately, many of us are genetically predisposed to hair loss, if you didn't already know. And you've tried all the DIY tactics that you've seen here on YouTube or on Instagram, now TikTok, and nothing has been working for you. You've bought the sugar bears, nope, no shade. You bought all the gummies and you bought all the hair growth pills, and it seems like nothing is absolutely working. Well, that's why I created this community, because hair loss, believe it or not, if you don't already know, which you should, has a psychological impact, very negative impact on your, not only your self-esteem, your mental health. Believe it or not, as much as there are woke people that are like, girl, it's just hair, let it go, as long as I'm healthy and I'm alive, I'm happy. And I am saying kudos to those people, and I want us all to be there. But all of us aren't there, and I don't want to shame anybody who isn't. I don't want to shame anyone who does care, who's concerned, and not because they're trying to be vain, but because it impacts how they perceive themselves, how they look at themselves as a woman. If you are not growing hair, or if your hair is balding, it makes you feel bad about yourself. So I'm not saying that, oh well, hair is a vain thing and your health is, I'm not saying that you know what, if you can't grow hair, you're not successful. I'm saying this is a happy and safe place. I don't know about happy, but this is a safe place for everyone on each side of the spectrum. If you are already bald, you've gone bald, permanently bald, and you've accepted your beauty and the skin that you're in, and you are overly confident and you're embracing the day, girl, this place is for you too. Come share some of that confidence with the rest of us. And this is for you if you're just realizing that you're experiencing hair loss, you're at the beginning of this hair loss thing, and you're out of control, spending a whole bunch of money on Amazon, Target, Walmart products trying to repair the damage or stop the bleeding. Or this is for you if you've been on this journey for a very long time now, and you've been trying everything for a very long time, nothing seems to be working, or some things do work and then they stop working and you're losing hair again, and it's an uphill battle. You feel like you climb up and then you're taken back down again, and you're just like out of your mind, like what to do. This is the community, and this is the place for all of you ladies and men. And I just want you to know that you are safe here, and I created this community where I bring the experts to you, where they're gonna give you proven strategies on how to regrow healthy hair, how to effectively grow hair with science-based strategies, treatments, technologies, cosmetic treatments, products, etc. And really how to really get your hair to grow back the right way, and not just listening to stuff that you're hearing. If you can grow your hair back, because that's not a false promise that we're all making. You may or may not be able to, but we're gonna put you on the right path to not only help you with effective strategies, but we're gonna accelerate your hair growth process if you stick with us on this channel. So without further ado, I'll give you a little bit about me, my story. So like I said, my name is Beverly, or you guys may know me as Bevy from HairScripts. And before I created this platform, I started realizing my hair loss in 2018. That's when I noticed it. But from all the learning and the conversations that we have on our Supernaturals podcast, shameless plug that you can find here on this channel, we learned that hair loss obviously is a symptom of something else deeper going on. But it's also something that you don't realize or recognize right away. By the time you're noticing excessive shedding or hair loss, it's been happening behind the scenes for now a longer time, for a while. And there's many different reasons for hair loss, aka pathways. It can be chemical. It could be that you're using products that are causing chemical burns or chemical damage to your scalp, to your follicle, and it's causing hair loss. It can be environmental, it can be nutrient deficiency, it can be genetics. You might be aging, you're getting older, and certain hormones can be causing hair loss. It can be hormonal. It can be a number of different things, and it can be postpartum. It can be stress related. There's so many different pathways, aka causes of hair loss, that it is honestly, you're doing yourself a disjustice or a disservice by trying to self-diagnose. Because many of us can have several reasons why we're experiencing hair loss. It may not just be one reason. For me specifically, I was later diagnosed with androgenic alopecia, aka female pattern baldness, but I also had hormonal hair loss. I was on the spectrum for PCOS, polycystic ovary syndrome, which means that you have a more heightened level of testosterone and testosterone hormones than you should as a woman. So it kind of messes with other mechanisms in your body that should be working, and it causes really bad acne, cystic acne, and it can also cause hair loss and excessive thinning, PCOS. I was dealing with, anemia, iron deficiency anemia. I was low in iron. I was also dealing with, insulin resistance. I was at the time pre-diabetic. I was dealing with pre-diabetes. And then while all of that wasn't enough, stressful situations, I was in a toxic situation, a toxic relationship that was taking a lot out of me. All of this was causing inflammation in my body, and hair loss is an inflammatory response. By the time you're dealing with inflammation, the hair is gonna fall out of your head because your body is trying to attack whatever is hurting it, is trying to fix everything, bring everything into Zen, peace, homeostasis, and it cannot. So it's getting rid of whatever is not really working for or towards it, or whatever the case may be. So I was dealing with inflammation, inflammatory responses in my body. And if all of that wasn't enough, because I was trying to treat a lot of the issues, some of the treatments that I use cause hair loss, aka and this is not a treatment, but because of the pre-diabetes and because of the insulin resistance, my doctor recommended that I start intermittent fasting. And while intermittent fasting changed my life in a very, very good way, and it had amazing benefits, like I lost 20, close to 30 pounds at the time. I teeter-totter in between, but I lost a lot of weight from where my initial starting point. And while it helped me as far as anti-aging, because it activates something called autophagy, and autophagy is really good for kind of like, increasing that human growth hormone, and that's the thing that's gonna really make you look younger. So I was aging at one point because of the stress. My skin was starting to look thicker, like it was just starting to look not clear. Of course, the acne from being on the spectrum of PCOS, etc. But all that to say, the intermittent fasting then turned around and caused even more hair loss. Girl, I went from hair longer and way thicker and fuller than what you may see right now. This is length, but the density of my hair was enough, okay? It was enough density, honey. Insert a picture of me with long hair down my back, and then the after result. And no, it wasn't a big chop. It was not a big chop. It was not me saying, oh, my hair is damaged, let me cut it off and start all over again. No, my hair fell out. If I eventually cut it, it was just to get it even, because it didn't fall even, right? It's jagged edges, you know? So I eventually just had to just even it out, but it fell out. There was so much going on with my health. And one thing I need you to understand is that hair loss and your hair growth journey is not just a journey of growing your hair, it's a wellness journey, it's a lifestyle change. It's about getting your life back into balance and homeostasis so that everything can work together for your hair to finally grow. And even if it's growing in the process, it's for you to maintain it, right? Because if you still have the same stressors and your cortisol levels are still shooting through the roof, then you're still gonna lose hair, right? You're still gonna lose a significant amount of hair. So in my case, you know, when my hair started falling out, obviously it led to, you know, I'm not gonna say depression. That's a little intense. I wasn't clinically diagnosed with depression, but I isolated myself. My self-esteem took a hit. It affected my social life. I didn't want to go out because everyone knew, like, oh, she has long, beautiful hair, and now what happened? Like, I didn't feel good about myself. You know, I just didn't feel good about myself. It took a toll on me. It made me feel like less of a person. And again, like I mentioned in the beginning of this video, this is not any shade to anyone, but everyone has their own personal journey and their own personal experience with their hair. And for me, it definitely took a mental toll on me. I did not go out. I just didn't feel like I was in a good place. The worst part of this whole journey was that I didn't know who to turn to. I didn't know who to talk to. And in my mind, no one else was going through this. And I started to have hair envy. If I was out in the street and I would see a beautiful girl with a beautiful, thick, full, dense hair, like, it would just make me feel like I just wasn't enough. And I know that sounds like, girl, really? It may have been deeper issues, and that's not this video, but sometimes it can trigger you. Certain things that may not necessarily be associated with what your triggers are can actually trigger certain traumas that you may or may not have in your life. And you know, that triggered my low self-esteem, which was within itself just something way deeper than hair. But I just wanted to say that my hair loss was definitely a trigger for me, or it activated a trigger, or many triggers for me. So long story short, I ended up trying to find ways, doing everything to find ways to solve this problem. I went on YouTube, I went on Instagram, not TikTok at the time, you know, but I went on Facebook, I went on groups. I mean, I just did everything. I did everything, and I spent a lot of money. Like, every time I would Google hair loss and a product would pop up, I would go and run and buy it because it made claims that it was gonna grow my hair, and it had great reviews, and people would say, oh, it works, it works, it works. And I would buy these products, and a couple of things would happen. Either they wouldn't work, or I wouldn't give it enough time to work because I didn't know what to look for. I didn't understand the science of hair growth. I didn't understand the science of hair loss. I didn't understand how consistency is key in this journey. I didn't understand how you have to have stick-to-itiveness, or stick to a regimen for at least 6 to 12 months to see some type of change. So if I didn't see changes in a month, 2 months of using something, it may or may not work, but I was already on to the next thing. And because I was obsessed with this hair loss issue, I would go to Dr. Google all the time and just look for new remedies or new things. And so I was not even finished trying the initial remedy. I would go on to the next thing, go on to the next thing, go on to the next thing. I found everything except other women who were really talking about what they were going through. I mean, real talk. Like, I just found a whole lot of beautiful 20-somethings, teenagers telling me how they grew their hair in like 7 days. And at the time, I was so desperate that I'm like, yeah, I'll do it too. And then I would do things that would then have counter effects, or have just really bad effects on my actual hair texture, because I was just doing things in excess. And you know, if you stick around and you binge watch my channel, honey, on a Saturday, you'll see that I even have things talking about DIY or just things that we're doing that's actually damaging our hair instead of helping it, right? And so back to this, I literally just started doing everything and spending hundreds, and it started escalating to thousands of dollars, right? And I don't know why I thought of everything except for going to a dermatologist. I didn't think of that. And when I went to my primary care doctor, which I did do, you know, when we would run the blood and she would say, okay, you're iron, you're this, you're that, again, because there were bigger concerns for her as a primary care physician, as an internal medicine doctor, she cares more about my overall health than my hair. Things that she was recommending would actually hurt my hair more than help it. And no, I'm not saying in any way, oh my God, focus on your hair first. No, you have to focus on your health first, which is, I would never undo the process that I went through of first balancing, you know, my hormones, balancing out, you know, what's going on with my glucose and my, you know, my insulin resistance and my pre-diabetes, getting that stuff straight by intermittent fasting. I wouldn't have done that in the reverse, because intermittent fasting, I have a video on that on this channel, in many cases can contribute towards hair loss. And while it is transient, AKA meaning it's temporary, like the initial shock of that type of lifestyle change will definitely cause your hair to fall out. But once your body becomes accustomed to it and it gains homeostasis, balance, then it's gonna start to grow back, because now your body is used to that. Now it's not shocking your body into subjection or submission, right? And so for me, intermittent fasting, I would never undo that, right? And I wouldn't reverse the way I did it. So everything worked out. My journey was definitely, it was definitely divine. It was definitely all orchestrated for me by God. And so what led me to this point was, you know, in the process of trying to find products that worked for hair loss or hair growth, I didn't find a lot of products that did that and then also helped me to have good, cute hair. Like, I went through a whole season, and when I say season, I don't mean 3 months. I mean like a year, like a year or so of me having, it's one thing to deal with hair loss, but dang, can I look good with the hair that's on my head? When I say now, oh, you know, I'm still going through my hair growth journey, right? We're talking positive, we're changing the narrative. When I talk about my hair growth journey, people are like, girl, where? What? Huh? Why? Because, not that I mask it well, but I know how to properly treat the hair that is on my head as well as my scalp simultaneously. You don't have to choose either or. And so in this process, I'm just using a whole bunch of products that were like drying to my actual hair. They were like destroying the texture of my, you know, Afro-Latina natural hair texture, but it was helping my scalp, right? Because I didn't have anybody to go to. I didn't know who to talk to. What can I do? Where can I go? Like, I want to grow my hair, yes, but I also want the hair on my head to look beautiful. I want my curls to pop. Like, I want, you know, if I'm gonna be going through this, let me feel good right now in the skin that I'm in. It's like saying, well, your hair is falling out so you can just go ahead and look like shit. No, I don't want to go ahead and look like crap. I want to feel good while I'm in this process. It's like saying, well, I'm overweight, so I'm just gonna look like a cow. I'm just not a cow. I'm not gonna feel good about myself. No, sis. If you're overweight and you're in your weight loss journey right now, you're not at your ideal weight. You're not where you want to be. Don't put yourself on. Don't torture yourself. Don't put yourself on punishment until you get there. Be a baddie in whatever skin you're in. Feel good in whatever skin you're in. Be the dopest girl out there. If you're overweight, if you're balding, if you're whatever, but you're gonna do it, and you're gonna do it with grace, honey. And nobody has to know what you're going through. You don't have to look like what you're going through. And so anyway, to the point, I couldn't find those products. I just couldn't. And so it was then that I ended up connecting with a dermatologist. The dermatologist did a full diagnosis on me, a diagnostic panel. I didn't know none of this stuff. Like, I would have, and no one was talking about this on the internet. Like, for real. Like, no cap for my young people listening, you know? No one was talking about this. At least I didn't find them. If there were pockets of people, they weren't everywhere. And at the end of the day, it was me going through trial and error, bumping my head and going through this long behind journey of trying to regrow my hair that led me to understanding that there's a process, and that process starts with first identifying the issue. And you need a professional who's gonna do that. If you don't have the money to afford a trichologist because you just don't have just extra cash lying around, then go to a dermatologist who accepts insurance. A lot of times you can get a free scalp evaluation from a dermatologist who specializes in skin and hair of color, and you don't know it. And all you have to pay is a copay, if that. A lot of times, 8 times or 9 times out of 10, evaluation and a clinical evaluation on your scalp, okay? And the difference is an evaluation, just someone looking at your scalp saying, girl, that looked weird, versus someone actually looking at your scalp under a microscope, literally through something called a biopsy, or looking at your follicles or whatever with a trained clinician eye, clinical eye, to spot those things, can actually do a full diagnostic that includes blood work, a hormone panel, and a whole bunch of different stuff to identify the underlying cause of your hair loss and the type of hair loss. Because it's one thing to know the cause, it's another thing to know the type of hair loss, so that you can know the exact treatments that are backed by science that are going to affect that. And then what can we do to go home and maintain the treatment, right? It's like saying, oh, you know, and I use this a lot, but for no reason, but it's just vaginal health is just something that as a woman we all can identify with, right? So it's like saying you have a yeast infection, and you use Monistat 7 over the counter, or you know, a doctor prescribes something that's gonna knock it out. Okay, great, you took care of it. But now maintenance is, you gotta make sure you're doing all the right things to prevent another yeast infection, or to make sure you're not having recurring or reoccurring yeast infections, right? So you wanna make sure that you're eating the right foods, that you're balancing the flora in your vaginal area, but in your body, that you're maintaining a balanced pH, right? You wanna make sure that you're keep letting air breeze through and out, that you're nice and using cotton, draws, and all the other different things that we can do. This is not about that, right? But that's the point with maintenance. The maintenance part is, okay, now you see you got the diagnostic, you know what's causing your hair loss, you know what type of hair loss you have, and now the doctor treated it, whether it was a short-term treatment or a long-term treatment. But now what can you do to support everything that you've already been through and not keep going backwards, right? So that may include self-care. It may include reducing your cortisol levels and reducing your stress, cutting the toxic people out of your effing life, sis. The people that are stressing you the F out. And that's, that causes hair loss. Yes, scientifically. We're not just saying it. It's not just a rumor, okay? Yes, okay, that dude, that chick, that person, whoever that's stressing you out, they gotta go. You know, maintenance is also the type of shampoos and conditioners that you're using. Maintenance is also what you're doing, what you're eating, your nutrition, you know, your diet, your supplements, your lifestyle. Are you exercising? Are you getting blood flow circulating to your scalp? What are you doing? What are you doing? There's so much. And I have a ton of videos on how to reverse your hair loss in 60 days and what you can do to regrow hair, blah, blah, blah. And I mean, I go in depth on this channel. Here, this is the overall my story. And so on top of all of that, I'm a sister. I'm Afro-Latina. What? Don't give me no products that's gonna dry out my actual hair just to make my scalp healthy. And so I even started going on this journey of finding indie products, or products that were created by experts, meaning products that doctors themselves, they apply the science and the knowledge that they know into creating these effective and powerful products that are good not only for hair loss, but if you deal with one of those HairScripts doctors or trichologists or experts, they specialize in skin and hair of color. So their products have not only your scalp health in mind and your hair growth journey in mind, but they also have your hair texture and moisture in mind, and making sure that things don't dry out your hair, length retention, making sure you have a pop-in wash and curl, or that twist out is just bussin', honey. That's what you need. And so on this channel, Not only do we have the Supernaturals podcast where I speak to experts and all types of people from different walks of life about their hair loss story, but also about, effective hair growth strategies and treatments. But also on this channel, I have product reviews where I am not reviewing the products that everyone else is reviewing, that you can run to Target, run to Walmart, Amazon and buy. And while I do have a few things that if I love it, I love it. I'm gonna talk about it on this channel. But on some real talk, I'm really reviewing the products that are created by experts, by doctors. Products that are effective, products that they created with the right chemicals, the right active ingredients, the right everything, so that your hair, that it can stimulate hair growth, your hair can grow, it can stop hair loss, but also you have great texture in the process. So I'm gonna be reviewing those products all on this channel. All on this channel, you're gonna get all the tea that you need. Every question that you possibly can think of, you're gonna get it, not only from the Supernaturals podcast, but me talking, me showing you. I'm gonna take you on these different journeys of me doing certain treatments on my scalp, on my hair, on my skin, because we're all about releasing the inner baddie in you. This is not about, oh my God, just hair. Girl, we talking about skin, we talking about vaginal health, we talking about bleaching that booty hole, we talking about everything. We talking about making you feel like the best, the greatest, the baddest you, okay? You being in your 20s and your 30s and your 40s, your 50s, even your 60s, and looking like you're not a day over 21, honey, okay? You just frozen time and you are just beautiful, dope, and in charge. That way, if you do have scarring alopecia and your hair is completely bald and fall out and you're a beautiful bald queen, girl, you got the most bussin', most glossy, most porcelain skin that anyone can see, okay? Because you're here tuned into HairScripts, aka Beauty Scripts, where we are giving you the prescription, the actual prescription for your whole life. We are blessing you. Now, I know that was very general as far as my story, and maybe as you guys continue down this journey with me, I will talk about the toxic relationship and the kids and this and that. I'll go into details, honey, the tea. You gotta subscribe for that. You gotta stay tuned for that. It's the subscribe button for me. You gotta be a part of the community for me. You gotta join the Facebook group for me, linked down below. You gotta watch, like, subscribe, share with your friends. Go and follow us at HairScripts on Instagram, okay? Follow me, Bevy Hines, on Instagram. It's the entire process for me. And listen to our podcast episodes. Check out all the things that I'm doing as far as PRP and everything else. It's the whole journey. It's the whole process. It's the hand-holding for me. It's the being able to run in my DM and ask me any question that you are afraid to talk to anybody about, or grandma just ain't telling you, or they don't know. They knew that certain things work because the ancestors told them, but they just don't know. Here we're gonna pair what the ancestors told us and showed us with the science that backs it up. Because no, they weren't crazy. They were divinely orchestrated with everything that they did. But sis, this is the place for all of that. And I'm just telling you, I am still on the journey. Don't get it twisted. And while this is my hair on my head, yes, it is not at the density yet where it once was, but we are working towards it. And sometimes I get to where I'm doing good and I fall off the cliff and we gotta start again. But you're not going through it by yourself. And we may even have therapists, black girl therapists on here to talk about different ways that you can boost your self-esteem, different ways that you can feel more confident, feel more sexy, release the better you. This is what this is all about. It's not just about hair. It's about wellness. It's about mental health. It's about health. And it's about just being the best you, living your best life. Okay? Did you know COVID was gonna happen? Did you know that we were gonna have a whole pandemic? No. So girl, you don't have any more time. You don't have time to waste. Don't keep thinking about it. Don't keep wondering. Don't keep saying, well, it costs you nothing to subscribe to this channel because it's free, number one. But no one has to know. No one has to know what you're going through. It's our little secret. We can talk, we can drink wine, we can line, we could vibe, whatever you guys call it. We could chill, and we could just really have a good old funky time while we are releasing our inner baddies and living our best damn life from today on forward. So if you want to join the club, not club, because you don't got to pay a damn thing. It's free, by the way. Just join the conversation, join the community, be a part. And when I say that, I don't mean you gotta sign up for nothing. You gotta, now you gotta, no, just show up to the videos, show up to the conversations on the podcast, on the YouTube channel. Look at, engage with our Instagram. All of that is gonna give you all the tea that you need. But if you're really ready, if you even want that free scalp evaluation, you passed the I'm not sure stage, you're at the girl, you're talking too much. Where do I need to go so I could start? Like, I believe you, I heard what you said, I got it, get it good. What do I need to do? I got you, sis. Click on the link down below, hairscriptsapp.com, and we'll meet you there. Bye.